Hi, welcome at your service in Caris. One thing I noticed that I haven't been asking lately is, are you ready to take notes? Do you have pen and paper or anything else that you might use to take notes? If you come across something interesting, something useful, what do? Let it go and hope to remember it? Be prepared to take notes. Be prepared for everything. Be prepared in every circumstance. What is it to be prepared as a Christian? Well, I guess we should be disciplined, and that's a preparation to be a disciple is to be disciplined. So we are prepared to do something, to do multiple things. We are prepared to show love to others. We are prepared to express God to others. We are prepared to worship God. We are prepared to study God more, and so on. I think, having said that, I might focus on evangelism. Yet again, I talk about it a lot. And recently, I've been talking about how every single person is responsible to evangelize constantly. Not go out to the center of your city on a Friday, Saturday night and shout verses at people or the like. Tell people they need to repent because they're going to hell. Sure, very true. But that's like putting a flashing light on the hook before you throw it in the water to catch fish. Fish won't be attracted to a flashing light. In fact, that's a warning to them, and they will avoid that. What do we do when we throw a hook in the water and go fishing? We put a worm on the hook because the fish sees food and goes, that's something I'm looking for. I want that. So what is it they're looking for? What is the food that we have available for them? Well, as Christians, we are supposed to be walking away from worldliness, walking away from sin, under God's strength, not our own, and walking towards godliness. Jesus said, we will know them by their fruit. Does a thorn grow figs or something along that line? What fruit should a Christian therefore be displaying? What are the godly fruits? Well, Galatians 5:22-23 says, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, against which there is no law. So, these are the things that become evident in your life if you're a Christian, because fruit is obvious. An apple tree, a red apple tree, for example, has green leaves and red apples. You can see the fruit, it's really obvious. Berry trees, you can see black or purple or red fruit on the tree. The color of the fruit is different to the tree itself. Usually, I mean, for example, a pear is green and is the same color as the tree, so it's harder to see. But most fruit is a different color to the tree or the plant. Strawberries don't grow on trees, they grow on plants just not much off the ground. And again, they have a different color, so they are obvious. So, is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control all evident in your life? Are they obvious fruits? Now, beyond that, let's get back to telling people about God, etc. Well, firstly, if someone's going out on a Friday, Saturday night to express God, shouldn't we be showing others that fruit and expressing what they get out of becoming a Christian? Because becoming a Christian is walking away from sin and attaining that fruit, having that fruit grow in your life. The love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. So every single Christian is growing in that fruit. So that's what Christianity is about. It's about growing in that fruit. Of course, having accepted the sacrifices of Jesus for your sin is the first step. And walking a sinful life in your strength, attempting to not sin, no, well, that's then making yourself the powerful one in the circumstance. Oh, by my strength, my strength. Well, sin comes from me, my anything, my desire, my will, when I try to do things in my strength, you're denying God's strength by doing that. And you're making yourself God, the strong one, by doing that. So it's merely submitting to God and saying, I'm not strong enough to get me out of my heart, God. You come into my heart and push me out. And He will do that. So here we have people going out on a Friday, Saturday night, and their message should be, if you want what God turns a Christian into, if you want to become the person with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, then turn to God, because that's what God turns you into. Now, they're all good things, but as I've mentioned before, does God make everyone love you? No. God makes you the loving component of your environment, and you're the one to spread love, and the love you spread might affect others, and might become more loving. But you are to become the loving one. Joy. Will God therefore make your environment joyful? Not necessarily, but you are to have joy amidst the sadness. Even though there might be sadness all around, you still have the joy of God within you. The joy of knowing your life is better. The joy of knowing you're heading in a godly direction, etc. The joy of knowing that salvation waits you after life, as well as salvation now. That your place is a good, godly place after life. Peace. Does your new relationship with God remove anxiety from your circumstance around you? No. But even though you may be in unpeaceful circumstances, you can still have the peace of God within you and still be the peaceable one amongst all the disrupting, peaceless environment. Okay, and it's the same with all the other fruit of the Spirit. You become the good godly thing in your environment, and therefore you gain those good godly things, and you can then also leach those good godly things out of you into the environment, and your environment may change because of it. So get the good things for you, and having those good things will also potentially make the environment a better place, may make the environment a better place if it picks up your goodness and reflects that goodness back to you. Not always, that will not always happen, but often that does happen. A hateful person might become loving, and those people that hated them in return might look at them and go, "Wow, they've changed. Look what's happened in your life," and be interested in that person, what the change is, why, and therefore find God themselves and become loving towards that person themselves. It's a potential from the change that God makes in you. And heaven and hell is irrelevant to this message. And besides, do we go to heaven anyway? Jesus said to the person on the cross that didn't mock him, that to, that stood up for him, and that person said, "Remember me." And Jesus said to him, "Today you will be with me in paradise." Not heaven, paradise. And the Bible also says that he went to hell for 3 days. Okay. So if he went to paradise and also went to hell at that time, maybe paradise is a compartment of hell. Maybe hell is more than just one place, but it is like a house that has many rooms. And one of those rooms is paradise. But nowhere do I see in the Bible it saying we go to heaven. It says we go to paradise. And then it says after 1,000 years, Satan rises again and God defeats Satan for the final time and then makes a new heaven and a new earth and a new Jerusalem and resides in the new Jerusalem here on the new earth with us. We're not in heaven. We live eternally on the new earth. Okay, so the heaven hell story is A, out of the ballpark anyway, but B, irrelevant in another way. Because if we don't go to heaven or hell, let's say they didn't exist, the fact that I'm gaining that love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control, the fact that I'm gaining all those means my life is improving, whether there's a heaven or a hell or not. Okay? So, my message is primarily that getting God in your life will make your life a wonderful thing now. And then you also get a bonus of heaven and hell. It's not a matter of do it to get out of hell and go to heaven, because you're asking them, you're promoting them that the concept of Christianity is purely a selfish thing. The only thing that you want to do is get out of hell and go to heaven. Is that not the ultimate selfish thing? You're saying, have ultimate selfishness and desire to get out of hell and desire to go to heaven. A desire for your own selfish life. The message, though true, is far less appropriate. The appropriate message is ignore the self, love God, but in doing so, you will gain all those fruits. You will still gain far more. And in doing so, you need to firstly love God and deny yourself. Drop your pride, your ego, your desires, your needs, the I want, the me, let it all go. Ask God to come in your heart and push the you out of your heart. So, Now, the next point, I guess this is where I was leading, and I don't have a written message, so I don't know. In fact, I just started talking as normal. When do we go out to tell people about God? On that Friday, Saturday night? Maybe every night, maybe every day, maybe every moment that we have an opportunity to do so. If we're disciples, then we are learning to act in the way our master taught us, either by what he said or what he did. We are to do what he did. What did he do? He died on a cross. Well, we're not going to be doing that. Very, very unlikely. Incredibly unlikely. He healed and cast out demons. Well, we're sort of unlikely to do that, but we should be doing that given the faith. Okay. But what is it that every Christian can do other than live their life in respect of godly ways, which then produces that fruit of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control? Other than that, what did he do? Sure, he healed and cast out demons, but there's something else he constantly did, even more than healing and casting out demons. At every opportunity he could, he would speak, and he would speak about what? God and godly things. Whether it be a Sermon on the Mount, where he's talking to thousands of people about godly things, or whether as an individual he walks up to a well where there is a woman drawing water and he says, "Could you please give me some water?" He is at the drinking fountain getting a drink and he says, "Let me tell you about how you can have rivers of living water flowing from you." He turned the individual conversation, circumstance, a request for water, into a discussion about godly matters, God and godliness. So, at the drinking fountain, do you talk to the people nearby about godly things and God? I've never seen it. I'm not saying you particularly, I've never seen it, but I've never looked at a watering fountain and seen a person finish having a drink and say to the person next to them, uh, "Your turn. While you're having a drink, can I talk to you about God?" Or something along that line. In fact, that's probably not a great approach, but the point being, do they say anything at all? No. What about other places where you can acquire water? The supermarket. You can go buy water. Okay. Well, at the supermarket, have I ever seen anyone at the checkout buying their water and say to the cashier, "Well, while you're scanning these items, can I tell you how you can have an absolutely wonderful life? A life where you can have love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. It's a life in God." Or turning to the customer behind them and doing exactly the same. When they're acquiring water, are they doing what our Saviour did? If that's what the Master did, and if we are disciples, then we do what he did. Do we? I've never seen that in a supermarket. So, I have never seen a human being get water, whether at the drinking fountain or at the supermarket, and express God or godliness. Why not? Well, maybe we just haven't come to that realization, even though it's blatantly there in red letters in the Bible, in many, many, many verses. It seems every time he spoke, every single time he spoke, the conversation was directed to God and godliness. If that's our example, that's what I intend doing. Do I do that now? No, I haven't as yet. I only came to that realization a little over a week ago. And I haven't really been out in society in the last week. I did go out to the shops, well, sort of the shops. I did go out to a um, charity place, um, but the people there are Christians, and I know they're committed Christians. So me expressing God to them would have been of no avail. So I didn't. And I didn't even think of it anyway. But again, it was a Christian shop, as it were. However, I'm going to have to create a way of reminding myself to discuss God with people on the bus, people on the train, any public transport, people at the bus stop, uh, any people at any waiting room of any kind, people in stores, wherever. I want to find a very suitable opening or a few very suitable openings that I can deliver as a one-line opening. I would feel a lot more comfortable if I had that. And there's the issue. Why do we not do it? Well, one of the reasons, two of the reasons, I guess. First reason is we don't know what to say, an appropriate way to open that kind of conversation. Nobody's taught us. And the other reason, we feel uncomfortable opening a conversation like that. And one of the reasons we feel uncomfortable is the fact that we don't know how. But if, let's say, we went with somebody who had a really good method and always got good communication from whoever they spoke to, and that person often turned to God, and it was a really good experience in doing that. And you learnt their method, and they started saying, right, it's now your time, your turn to open the conversation, etc. I'm here if you stumble, whatever it might be. And they got you to a point of you being able to do it at ease. Then when they're no longer there, you would have the ability to easily open a conversation with whoever, and knowing that it is likely to bring a good, positive result. Then would you? Or would you still think, no, I'm going to keep to my own selfish little self? Because that's what it is. When we don't do these things out of our fear, our reasoning, oh, I don't know the words, so I won't say anything. Whatever it might be, it's us. It's putting ourselves before God. My fear, my Excuses. Oh, I haven't got the words. It's just an excuse. Our duty is to learn how to do this. Our duty is to do what Jesus did. So therefore, our duty is to learn how. Again, I don't have the skills yet. I'll try and video my approach when I get one sort of decent. I guess I'll try a few approaches before I even try videoing, but as especially it can be quite difficult to just have a video running and say, "Hi, can I have a conversation with you? By the way, you're already on camera." It's not really a nice, appropriate thing to do. I've got to come up with the motivation for myself and the process for both myself and you. So I will leave that there for today. I am feeling convicted in myself for all the time where I've not done anything. And it makes me think I should write some new tracks as well with a focus of gaining what God wants to change your life into. Anyway, I'll wrap up there. As always, please rate these messages out of 10. And if they're good messages, post them to other people via email or post them on forums or uh, post them on your Facebook page or wherever, everywhere you possibly can think of. If it's an average message, okay, well, don't bother. Post the good ones. And if you are a new Christian, we can help you grow. If you are ready to find your call, we can help you find it. If you have found your call and are ready to train but haven't started, we can help you. If you've trained and haven't launched, we can help. We can get a community of like-minded believers around you to support you in whatever your next stage is. It's all about getting to the next stage. And we are all about helping you get there. So please let us know where you're at. Communicate so we can then go, great, let's work on this. As I say this, we've done very little in that area, so we don't have a wonderful format for doing that yet. Help us develop that by saying, yes, work with me. Okay. Bless you. Govern well in Caris.